My name is Brooke Alexander, and this is my summary of learning for the fall 2018 semester of ECNI 833. Because this is my third course with Dr. Kuros, I was feeling more confident using Zoom, WordPress, Twitter, and the Google Plus community to stay connected with my classmates and to support my learning. It was really nice to have an established personal learning network on Twitter and an established blog. I decided to use Screencastify for the first time this semester as well. For the next few minutes, I'm going to review my learning for this semester. So here's what I've learned. Marshall McLuhan claims that a light bulb creates an environment by its mere presence. Over the course of this semester, we discussed many ways in which technology alters the classroom and society as a whole. Each new technology has positive and negative impacts. Additionally, the definition of educational technology is under constant construction. The definition our class chose to work with was the following. Neil Postman discusses 5 things we need to know about technological change. Postman's ideas were an important first look at the impact of technology prior to several group presentations on different ed tech tools. From there, we spent a great deal of time applying and understanding theories of knowledge and learning to the varieties of tech explored in the course. Moving on, our Professor Alex said that beliefs about knowledge, beliefs about learning, and our strategies for practice need to align. Many groups referred to this SAMR model for integration of technology throughout the semester. This model can be compared to the TPACK model, which combines pedagogy, content, and technological knowledge. One of the first examples of EdTech we explored was audiovisual technologies. In his 1985 article, Neil Postman wrote, "We now know that Sesame Street encourages children to love school only if school is like Sesame Street," which is to say, we now know that Sesame Street undermines what the traditional idea of schooling represents. Postman is discussing the role that television had begun to play in the education of American children and how this audiovisual technology was reshaping parent and educator understanding of what learning could look like if they revamped what the traditional classroom setting looked like. EdTech argues that AV technology in the classroom should not be underestimated for 2 reasons. One, that learning via AV creates a stimulating and interactive environment, which is more conducive to learning. And 2, that we live in an audiovisual age, which means that having these skills to use AV equipment is integral to future employment prospects. Therefore, exposure to AV technology in education is imperative. Additionally, Postman argues for the following benefits of AV. Productivity suites and presentation tools. One of the group's recommended readings this week argued that today we often take for granted that digital versions of the once revolutionary technologies come bundled in a single software package many of us use every day. In offices around the world, you'll find professionals hard at work using the modern productivity suite, which can include word processing, email, spreadsheet, and presentation software, as well as instant messaging and file sharing apps. And these powerful office tools empower many millions of office workers and students to get their jobs done. What I find interesting is that while media and society is pushing for multitasking as an essential skill, the research shows that multitasking is ultimately unproductive. Tools like the ones presented in class, Microsoft Office, Google Suites, have allowed people to multitask but simultaneously create a significant distraction. Tools for distance and online education. E-learning includes virtual education opportunities in which learning can be self-paced or instructor-led, similar to our course. A variety of advantages and disadvantages exist within tools for online and distance education, a few of which are explored on this slide. My group explored the evolution of Web 1.0 and 2.0. Web 1.0 can be described as the mostly read-only web, where the internet was mainly used to retrieve information, while Web 2.0 represented a shift to a more social, collaborative, interactive, and responsive web. Society became more tech-savvy, and the masses created the content that became the web. In Web 1.0, the internet was a tool, whereas in Web 2.0, society became part of the web. Assessment technologies. With the shift to Web 2.0, assessment technologies have now emerged, allowing teachers to reimagine traditional assessment tools. Digital assessment tools allow for earlier intervention and real-time feedback. Learning can become more personalized and accessible and be quickly embedded in the learning process. The group that presented on this topic provided these two visuals. The first portrays the shift from traditional to next generation assessment tools, while the second presents the benefits as well as barriers of assessment technologies. Assistive technologies. Prior to the presentation, I would have said that my experience with assistive tech was limited. However, the group shared a chart showing varying degrees of assistive technology from no tech to low tech to high tech. I used many of the items on their no tech and low tech list, but my experience with high tech assistive technology remains limited. This group also taught us about universal design for learning, which calls for a mainstreaming of assistive technology and creation of an environment that can be accessed by all students regardless of their ability. Additionally, reading one of the related articles for this week allowed me to re-examine my definition of assistive technology. Coding. Computer programming, or coding, is now regarded as an essential skill for 21st century learners. In many places, it is becoming a component of school curriculum. Technology plays a significant role in many aspects of our lives, and learning how these different tools operate will play an increasingly important role in the future. Coding allows for students to create their own websites, apps, and other computer software which they can manipulate in many ways and for many purposes. As Marianne Stenger describes, at its most basic, learning to code is learning to tell machines what to do. But this requires the mastery of problem-solving skill known as computational thinking, which involves breaking larger tasks into logical sequence of smaller steps, diagnosing errors, and coming up with new approaches when necessary. Makerspace. Makerspaces.com describes a makerspace as a collaborative workspace inside a school, library, or separate public or private facility for making, learning, exploring, and sharing that uses high-tech or no-tech tools. These spaces are open to kids, adults, and entrepreneurs and have a variety of maker equipment. These spaces are helping to prepare those who need the critical 21st century skills in fields of science, technology, engineering, math, and the arts. Our final presentation discussed virtual and augmented realities. Virtual reality is the use of computer technology to create a simulated environment. It presents in such a way that the user suspends belief and accepts it as a real environment. Think the Grid VR arcade in Regina. Augmented reality is an enhanced version of reality created by the use of technology and overlapping digital information. Think Snapchat, Bitmoji, or Pokemon Go. A few of several benefits of VR and AR technologies are listed on this slide. I think it's important to conclude with this image because it applies to all areas of educational technology that we have explored this semester. As Neil Postman argues, tech is a trade-off. That is, there will always be pros that come with each new tech, and there will always be cons. In the media and in society, we frequently hear messages about the cons or the barriers of EdTech, but I would like to conclude with the benefits of EdTech. While I acknowledge that barriers exist, this chart shows many ways that technology can be beneficial for student engagement and learning. I have now highlighted many of the learnings in this course, which I was able to engage with via group presentations, weekly readings, and blogging. Thank you to my professor and ECNI classmates for helping me along this journey about the foundations of EdTech. I have learned so much, and my teaching practice has changed for the better. I now have a deeper understanding into the histories, theories of learning, and advantages or disadvantages of a variety of EdTech tools. It has been a great semester, and I look forward to learning with you all again soon.